Have you made your resolutions yet? Is 2026 going to be your year to finally speak English confidently? Or is it going to be another year of buying grammar books, doing countless exercises, downloading apps that you use to translate sentences? Or you keep telling yourself, I'll start soon, yeah, promise. But you know very well that you won't because you're scared of speaking. Yeah, I thought so. Look, I get it. I know that you're trying. You really are. You know some English. Actually, you probably know quite a lot more than you rather admit. You can read emails, reports, articles, maybe even those impossibly long terms and conditions that nobody actually reads. You understand everything when people speak, or at least most of it. And Netflix without subtitles, you manage. But then someone asks you a question in English, and suddenly your brain goes blank, your mouth stops working, your heart starts racing, and you stand there thinking, I know this, I know it, why can't I say it? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, not even close. I've worked with thousands of adults who tell me the same thing every single week. And that's what breaks my heart. They think that there's something wrong with them. They think that they're not smart enough. They're not talented enough. They're not good at languages. There are all kinds of excuses, but it's not true, not at all. The real problem is that you've been training the wrong skill. So let me explain briefly. For years, maybe even decades, you've been filling your brain with English knowledge. Grammar rules, vocabulary lists, phrasal verbs, past perfect continuous, conditionals, reported speech, the passive, whatnot. You've been cramming your brain like you're preparing for a university exam. And don't get me wrong, that knowledge is great. You need it. But there's the thing. Conversational English is something practical. Knowing English and speaking or using it are two completely different things. It's like, imagine you spend years reading cookbooks, hundreds of them. You memorized every recipe, every technique, every ingredient. You even remember the names of the chefs. You could probably win mastermind with French cuisine as a specialist subject. But if I put you in a kitchen and say, right, make me a soufflé, you'd probably set off the smoke alarm. Because knowing about cooking and actually cooking are not the same thing. Do you agree with me? You need to get your hands dirty, make mistakes, burn a few things. I know, I'm also a cook and I've done it myself. Learn what works by actually doing it. That's exactly what's happening with your English. When you read English, your brain uses recognition. You see a word, you understand it, job done, brain's happy. But when you speak English, your brain needs to switch to production. It has to create sentences, find the words, put them in the right order, use the proper grammar, do it quickly while someone is staring at you, waiting for an answer. Recognition versus production. Two completely different systems, two completely different skills. And here's the problem. You've spent years training recognition, but almost no time training production. It's like going to the gym and only ever watching fitness videos. You know everything about squats. You could perhaps write a PhD thesis on proper form and how to do it right. But your legs, they're still like spaghetti. Because watching and doing are not the same thing. Your speaking pathways need exercise, real exercise, regular exercise, not once in a while when you feel motivated or when you have to, not when you finally find the perfect language partner, every single day. And that's exactly why I created the 1-week English Fluency Bootcamp. This isn't another course where I lecture you about grammar for an hour. This isn't another app with endless vocabulary drills or grammar translation. This is skill activation, real practice, real skill building and training. And here's how it works. Every day for 1 week, you get a guided lesson for 15, 30 minutes, or even for an hour if you can manage. These aren't traditional lessons. You're not memorizing lists or doing gap-filling exercises, not in this course. Instead, you are following the natural learning method, the same way children learn their first language. You listen, you repeat. You read, you speak. You practice what you know in context. You activate what's already in your brain. And you do it on your own, but with me guiding you every step of the way and giving you my feedback. You record audios expressing your ideas or write short summaries or even sometimes read aloud and record yourself. It's structured, it's safe, and it's designed specifically to build your speaking pathways without overwhelming you. However, at the very start of the week, I'm going to overwhelm you. We have a 90-minute live speaking session. Now I know what you're thinking. A live speaking session with other people? Are you trying to give me a heart attack? No, it's not scary. I promise you, it's actually fun. You'll be paired with another student, a person who's exactly where you are, feeling exactly what you're feeling, and you'll speak in pairs. You'll practice real conversations, not scripted dialogues from textbooks, real, natural, meaningful conversation. You will have to share your opinion, idea, experience, the kind that you would actually have in daily life or at work, or while traveling, or while speaking with friends. And here's what always amazes me. People arrive at the session nervous, sometimes even terrified. Within the first 5 minutes, they're speaking. By the end of the 90 minutes, they're having actual conversations and laughing and having fun and connecting. They are communicating in English. And they look at me like, wait, did I do that? Did I actually just speak English for 90 minutes? Oh, yes, you did. Right. Because the English was already there. It just needed activation. Then 3 days later, there's another 60-minute practice session where you speak with other students and get rid of fear even more. So now you might be thinking, I'm too busy. I don't have time for daily practice. I hear you. I know what you mean. Life is hectic, I know. But here's the thing. 15 minutes a day is less time than you spend scrolling through social media while pretending to work, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to be mean. You don't need hours. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need a special study space with mood lighting, motivational posters. You just need 15 minutes. Could be with your coffee or with your lunch break. But every day for 1 week, that's it. And after that week, you'll have the tools and confidence to continue on your own or join my other course for real fluency building. I've developed this with thousands of students and they have shown incredible progress. Like Gabriella, who arrived saying, I understand English, but I can't speak, and you will have a really hard time with me. Well, 1 month later, she's recording videos in English in front of a camera, not because she learned thousands of new words for 1 month, not because she finally mastered the third conditional or the sequence of tenses, because she practiced production. She activated what was already there. And you can too. Now, here's the practical bit. The bootcamp starts on January the 12th. If you register between January the 5th and the 12th, you get a massive 50% plus discount. I've done it especially for you to start the year strong. And there are only 30 spots available because I want to make sure everyone gets proper attention and speaking time. Look, I'm not going to lie to you and say that this bootcamp will make you fluent in a week. That would be a lie, and we both know it. But what will happen is this. You will activate your English. You'll start building your speaking pathways and developing the skill. You will discover that you can actually do this, and you'll break free from fear of speaking, and you'll stop feeling stuck. Because honestly, the worst thing isn't struggling with English. The worst thing is feeling like you're not making progress. Like you're running on a treadmill, working hard, but going nowhere. And that feeling, that ends here today. Don't start 2026 the same way you started 25. Don't spend another year collecting grammar books and feeling frustrated. Start a new year differently to get different results. Your voice deserves to be heard. Your ideas deserve to be expressed. Your English deserves to be spoken, not just stored in your head. So here's what you do. Comment bootcamp below. I'll send you everything you need to register, including the code for the 50% plus discount. But do it now, because that discount ends on January the 12th, and those 30 spots are going to fill up fast. Let's make 2026 the year that you finally speak English confidently. Not perfectly, not like a native speaker, just confidently, naturally, like yourself. I'll see you in the boot camp, right? Meet you there.